rainbows, summer sparkle, and bold tropical vibes. This Soft Flex kit might be the most fun and vibrant yet. But what's really inside that fabulous Flamingo kit? Let's take a look. Hi, I'm Dina. I'm a jewelry designer and a pharmacist who started creating jewelry to unwind, and now I share tutorials to help others do the same. Today I'm unboxing the June 2025 Fabulous Flamingo Design Challenge Kit from Soft Flex. I'll walk you through everything inside, share my first impression, and at the end I'll even show you a fun little project idea using the beads from the kit. So if you're curious about the kit and looking for fresh design inspiration, you're in the right place. Alright, so let's get started with the unboxing. So the first thing that you end up getting in the box, you always get a spool of your wire, and this is the Soft Flex beading wire. It's a medium size, which is 49 strands. You always get a spool of 10 feet, at least, somewhere around in there. And then this is the color that we got this month. It's the turquoise color, so it's a nice bright greenish turquoise. Very pretty. And then our findings we always get a selection of the 2x2 crimp tubes. So we've got the sterling silver crimp tubes this month. So it usually comes in a quantity of 20, so you get 20 of those. You get 2 pairs of the silver plated ear wire with a little bit of a ball, or a little ball at the end of it. So you get 2 pairs of those. You get your traditional lobster clasp in the silver color. Then we have a pair of 14mm mother of pearl rounds that are in the pink color. So it's a cute little pink color, and it's very, very lightweight. I mean, it's still kind of heavy because it is a gemstone. It is a mother of pearl, but it's lighter in weight than what you would think as far as a 14mm bead. So it still could be used for earrings if you wanted to. You also get some sunglass connectors, so you can make a little beaded chain to hold your sunglasses on while you're at the beach. You get a large collection of turquoise glass round beads. And then this next little portion, these next 4 items here, are part of the Bedora bead mix. So you get 2 different sizes of more of a squared off rondelle, a round bead, and then more of your traditional type of crystal rondelle. So this is more of your pink color that has like an AB finish on the top of it. So you can see a little bit of the AB finish, like right here, you can see it right there. But those are more of the squared off ones, and that's the larger of the 2. Your round bead is going to be this blue bead here. Kind of reminds me of just the ocean color. And it's got a little bit of an AB finish of some sort, or some sort of a finish on it too, to make it look a little bit more sparkly as far as different colors shining through sometimes. Then you have your opaque rondelle, your traditional crystal rondelle. So this is more of your sand color that you would think of. So there's your rondelle. And then this is more of that squared off rondelle again. And this is more of your opaque yellow, and it's got a little bit of a finish also. Almost maybe like a Maria finish, maybe. That might be the right terminology, but it's got more of like an orangey green type finish to it. So it's picking up some different colors and everything. But that is the first part of the unboxing. So we'll go through the Jesse James bead mix, and then we'll go through the bead strand, and then we'll start our little tutorial. Alright, so this is the Jesse James little bead mix that comes with the kit itself. Comes in this nice little dish here. So this is what you get in this. So you have 4 of these melon type beads, and they look like they're ceramic beads, so each one of them looks a little bit different than the other, so really neat. I'll probably end up using these in a pair of earrings because those look pretty nifty. I like those. And then you have some hibiscus type flowers, and these are a flat flower like that, and then you have the hole going through the center of them. You can see the hole right there. And they have like a gold wash on one side, and then you've got the more transparent type pink on the other side. Then you have this light opaly pink. It's like a hexagon shape, but it's a hexagon round shape, but then it is like a rondelle, so it's thin like a rondelle would be. So it's kind of hard to pick up one right now. There we go. So that's how thin that little guy is. So those are pretty neat too. You get 2 of these. These are your larger rondelles, just an opaque light colored blue. And then this is a different color of your light color blue, but you get some of these rondelles too. You get 6 of these guys, and they're just a little bit smaller than the other one. You get basically the same color it looks like, and these look like little small twist beads. So the bead goes down the center like that, but it twists, where you can kind of see how it twists in my finger right there. So it's really neat. It's a different shape. I really like that shape. Something interesting and potentially challenging to work with. So you get these 2 beads as well, and these kind of are neat. They have what almost looks like to be a face, if that's what it's supposed to be, but it almost kind of looks like a face, like you have eyes, a nose, and a mouth right there. So I don't know if that's what it's supposed to be, but that's kind of what it looks like. But it's more transparent on one side, and then you've got more of a flatter finish on the other side. So it just kind of looks like the sun. So those are pretty neat too. I like those. Then you have some mermaid glass is what this is called, and it's in a yellow color, and then every once in a while you'll see a little bit of a flash of color, a different flash of color. So you've got like kind of sort of the AB finish in a way. There's some flash right there where you get a little bit of the blues and the pinks and things like that. Sometimes it picks up a little bit of a green every once in a while. So very neat. I like mermaid glass. Then you have these spacers, which are little flower spacers. So they are opaque yellow on the underside of them. And then you have more of an AB finished yellow on the top side. So those are pretty neat and nice to work with. You have your little crystal rondelles spacers, and I actually just realized they may have 2 different colors. Is it 2 different colors or is it 1 color? I'm having problems picking up one. No, it's probably the same color. It may be just my lighting. So you've got some rondelles, so you end up with a total of 8 of those. So it could possibly be 2 different colors. I'll have to look at that a little bit better in a little bit better light and up closer to my face and everything. I'll see if there's 2 different colors or not of that. But we may end up using those in our earring too. I'm not quite sure yet, but I will show you here shortly. This is your bead cap that you get in this month's box. It's just a little swirly little bead cap that kind of looks like a flower. It's got kind of a large hole, so you have to be careful with some of if you were to use seed beads and things like that. Sometimes seed beads might be able to go through that hole, so just be cautious with that. And then you get 2 more items. I just put it all in the same little portion right here. You get 2 of these. This is like a bead connector, or a bead frame, because you have the hole going down the center right here. So your hole is up here and down here at the bottom. So you can put a bead in the center right there if you wanted to. And then you also get these spacers. And so they're kind of a just a round spacer that has like a bumpy edge to it, is the best way of describing that. So you get several of those. I think it was a dozen, if I remember right. Yeah, there's 12 of those. So that is the Jesse James bead mix that comes with the kit. So now we'll go through the strand and then we'll start our earring after that. Alright, so here is the Jesse James bead strand that comes as a add-on for the kit. So you would get the kit, and if you wanted to, you can purchase this as an add-on. So this is what you get in this part. You start off with this very adorable little flamingo charm that you can use in probably a necklace, unless you ended up getting 2 of these. Like if you got two strands, then you can always make a pair of earrings, because it is really lightweight, so that probably could work for a pair of earrings. But we'll probably do some cute little necklace to go along with this. Then you have a crystal heart, in kind of a peachy color. It's more of a peachy pink. And it's the same on both sides. And then you've got the hole going down the center of the heart. You've got two that are kind of like a diamond shape in a way. You've got the hole going down the center, and then that's your shape. It's a little bit more bigger on one side of the diamond than the other. The other side is a little bit more thinner. So just a different shape to work with, kind of neat. Then you have two, looks like large drop beads, and they're all about the same color. These three beads are all about the same color and everything. So another nice bead to use. Very pretty. Then you've got a coordinating beaded bead where you have some pearls that have been beaded together and create just a little ball of pearl basically. So very nice. Then you got your sparkle. You got some of your little clay beads that have some of these flatbacks or little tiny chatons that have been glued and or somehow adhered to the clay. And so those are very nice little sparkly beads. Then you get some rondelles. These are some smaller of the rondelles. They're a little bit smaller than the ones that came in the bead, the little bead tray, the bead kit itself. But they're a little bit lighter in color than the brown color that we got also. So it's just a different shade that you can use. It's got like a slight tint of pink to it, but it's a very good neutral color to be able to use in different projects. You get some more of these little crystal rondelles. Now this one is just a crystal bead, and the other ones, when I didn't know if there was two different colors, it ended up being all the same color, so they're all the same color pink. It just, in my lighting and everything, looked like one of them was a little bit darker than the other. But this one you get some of the crystal rondelles. This is the bead cap that you get. You get 4 of these guys, and they kind of look like just a little 4-petaled flower. So very nice to have as well. Then you have what Call likes to call potato chips, because they look like little potato chips, but they are little wafer type spacers that are bent in the center. So it makes it look like a potato chip. I think that's a really good description. But they're in a silver color this month. And then you get a couple of spacers. This one you can kind of use as a bead cap if you wanted to. It's a little bit more flat, so it would have to be used like up against maybe the pearls down here or something like that. But this is the front side of it. It kind of looks almost like a snowflake in a way is what it reminds me of. And then there's the underside of it. And then you get just 2 little small spacers, and these are kind of sort of like daisy spacers. They've got a little bit more little spokes on around the edge and everything than a traditional daisy spacer. But that's what they look like, is something similar to that. So that is the bead strand. So meet me back in just a moment, and I will have a supply list for the earring project that I will use, and then we'll start the tutorial after that. Alright, so we are going to make this cute little earring that I've already done the first one just to make sure it's going to work out right for myself and to be able to teach it to you. So I'm going to call this my Fabulous Melon earring, because that kind of looks like a little melon to me. So I already have everything listed in the previous screen, so once you get your supplies out and ready to go, we'll get started. So we're going to start off with our little flower spacer type guys here, or bead cap type guys. We're going to go through the flower to where we're going through the colorful side of the flower, and then we're going to come out towards the flat side. There's a flat side on the back side, so I'll call it the colorful side and the flat side. That's the easiest way of doing it. Then we're going to pick up one of the pink crystal rondelles, our melon bead, and I'm just stringing this all on the needle at the moment. Pick up another of our crystal rondelles, another one of our little flower guys. This time we're going to go through the flat side and come out the top side, except that one doesn't have a hole. Hold on. I wonder, can I poke it? Oh, I'll have to work on that one off screen. So, with that being the case, I'll need to grab another one out of my little dish. Did not notice that. Alright, so got another one there. So we're going to go back through the flower, the rondelle, the melon, the rondelle. Alrighty, so now we got one with a hole in it. So go through the flat side and come out the top, the pretty side of it. And then we're going to pick up one of our seed beads. These are 8/0 seed beads, Mayuki. And I'm just going to string it on the top just like that. So we're going to pull all of these down to the end of our thread. This is a very good project to be able to use spare thread or thread that you have left over from other projects. I currently don't have any extra thread left over because my cat's got a hold of it. And I'm not going to reuse those in any of my projects. They went in the trash. So now we're going to go back through the beads again. So we're going to skip the 8/0 and just go back through the flower, the rondelle, the melon, rondelle, and then come back out the flower. And then pull that tight. And then we're going to add our second 8/0 on this side. So go ahead and pick up your 8/0. Then we're going to go back down all these beads again. So that way we can put a second strand. Oh, and I went through the 8/0. Perfect. And we're going to put a second strand through both of those 8/0s before we tie it off. So I've already gone through the 8/0 on this side. I don't know if you can see that or not. That 8/0 is really hard to see with the yellow up against it. Now I'm going to go back through the beads a 4th time. So we're going back towards the beginning. And we want to go through that 8/0 over here off to this side before we tie off. So that way it has 2 thread paths through both 8/0s. And that way we know it's going to be put together, basically. I always like to try to get 2 thread paths through most of my beads whenever possible. So now I'm just going to tie a simple knot, right over left, left over right, just tying the 2 threads together. And then after I get that done, I'm going to go ahead and move my thread back through the beads one more time, if I can get it to go. Sometimes this gets a little tight, and sometimes it's hard to get the needle to the other side, so sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So we'll see if I can get it to come out the other end quickly, because whenever you tie that knot, it always makes that seed bead sit there really tightly, and it's not wanting to go through this time. Okay. So if that happens, then you can always just try to go through a couple of your beads if you want to. I'm going to try to come out through in between the crystal rondelle and the melon bead. So that's all you really need to do. And you don't even really have to do that either. I just like to try to get away from the knot so I can try to pull the knot down into the flower bead a little bit more so you don't see the knot itself. Then we're going to burn off. So this part I'm going to make it really, really short since it's sitting right up against the rondelle. And then we're going to make our little ball of thread. And then this little ball of thread I'm going to try to squish down into the rondelle itself. I use my needle, sometimes that works. And if I need to, I can always play with that a little bit more off camera. Get that little knot out of there. You're really not going to see it, so it's one of those things. It's just more of a I know it's there and it's going to bother me type thing. And then we're going to burn that little portion down, making sure that we're not going through all the other thread paths, and don't do that because it's sad. Usually means that you have to start over again because you'll burn through your thread and your earring will fall apart. It's really sad when that happens. Oh, and this jump ring is already open, so we're going to pick up one of our jump rings, next step, and we're going to go through one of our 8/0s. And then I'm going to go ahead and add the other jump ring right away. And then I'll close this one up. And then all I'm going to do with that second jump ring is just make sure that one is closed. And since my ear wire is already open at the one end, I'm just going to drop it in there. I'll show you what I mean in just a second. So this does have a little bit of an opening, so we're going to close that up a little bit. There we go. Make it look a little bit better. And then this is what I mean. So on that second jump ring, I'm just going to take the back of the ear wire, the part that would go in your ear, and just go straight through the earring, or the jump ring, and then just make it hook on like that. And then I just pinch this closed. And then now you have a finished Fabulous Melon pair of earrings. To make these Fabulous Melon earrings that I shared here at the end, I've listed all the extra materials down in the description, so be sure to check those out. And if you're loving these kits as much as I am, there's a full playlist linked below with even more unboxings and jewelry tutorials to keep the inspiration flowing. I'll see y'all in the next video, everyone. Bye now.